Well, hello, it's Kathy and Ruby Renfield. We are heading on a solo ride actually, out to Angler's Rest Hotel in Brooklyn. We have come up Carryong Hill and we've turned right onto Wiseman's Ferry Road, and shortly we are going to turn left onto the old Pacific Highway. We've been up this way before where we've obviously gone to Pie in the Sky, which is on the old Pacific Highway, but we've also come up this way to head straight ahead and go to Mangrove Mountain, at the hub at Mangrove Mountain, and also on to Wiseman's Ferry. But today it's Brooklyn, so we're doing a left turn as we would if we were going to Pie in the Sky. And I have another video already on my channel which shows my very first time riding to Pie in the Sky, where I was a bit nervous but managed quite well. This ride I'm doing solo because I'm heading to Angler's Rest to have lunch with some friends, but they aren't riders, they don't have bikes, and so they were doing a hike and finishing their hike at Angler's Rest, so I thought, I might ride there and meet them for a catch-up. It is a beautiful day, but the days leading up to this day were a bit rainy, so you will see on the road in various locations it's a bit soggy. I was a little bit nervous because I was riding by myself, but then there was also part of me that was excited about it and felt that I had a little bit more freedom, because if there were cars behind me that wanted to get past, then there's plenty of room and I could pull over whenever I wanted if I felt a bit nervous. So that part was lovely. I'm going to try and not talk too much, like I say in every video, so that you can just enjoy the scenery. But I have purchased a new jacket. On this ride and on another ride that I did recently, I was freezing. I had 4 layers on and a balaclava, and I had heated gloves, but I was still a little bit cold. The 4 layers helped, but obviously when you're wearing 4 layers, it's a little bit bulky. So 2 thermal tops, a thin one and a thicker one, and then a windproof jacket, and then the motorcycle jacket, the bright red one. And so I wondered whether if I brought a leather jacket, then I wouldn't have as much issue with the cold. So I purchased the Peak Moto Fiona jacket in red. It's red and black, but it is not a bright red like my current jacket. It's sort of like a muted browny red, which is a bit disappointing, but they didn't have it in another colour. I'd actually originally brought, when I first got Rosie Vesperina, I had brought the yellow Fiona jacket, but I'd brought it in a couple of sizes too big for some reason, and I had lost a bit of weight, so it didn't fit me anymore anyway, so I sold that and just bought this new Fiona one recently. So I haven't gone out for a ride with it yet, but hopefully in the next little while. The Angler's Rest Hotel, as I mentioned, is at Brooklyn, and as I've said before, I commute to Sydney 3 times a week, and the train, if I don't get an express train, always stops at Brooklyn. So I see the Angler's Rest Hotel almost every day that I commute if I don't get an express train. So it's nice to actually be riding. You can see that the road is a little bit wet. As I mentioned, it had been raining a bit, so I was a little bit cautious because the road was wet, but it was fine. If you go to the Angler's Rest Hotel website, There's lots of history about the area and the hotel, and it's really interesting. That was a very nice person waving to me, and that made me happy. Um, Lots of history about the hotel and the area, and it's really interesting to read about what it was like way back when people first started to settle here. There's also amazing hiking tracks around this area. My friends were doing, I think, Cowan to Brooklyn hike, which has a very steep start to it, and I think it's about 13 kilometres. So it was nice to meet with them when they finished their hike. They did a great job. I'm just going to be quiet now and let you enjoy the scenery. How hard would it be riding that bike? I don't know whether you just saw that, but oh my gosh, that would be hard riding a bike on this road. It would also be hard in terms of, the motorbikes and the cars on the road not getting you squashed. So they're very brave. Having said this ride to Brooklyn, there was nobody behind me at all, and really nobody in front of me. A couple of bikes coming and cars coming in the opposite direction, but other than that it was very, very quiet. I left home around 12 o'clock-ish, so around lunchtime, so that I could be at Angler's Rest by about 1, and it was perfect timing, but I was surprised about how quiet it was. We are coming up to some traffic lights up here that aren't operational, and they always make me a little bit nervous about going. And you can see there's a car that's waiting to go across, and I just gave them a little wave to say thank you for letting me go through. I don't know when they are actually operational. Every time I've come through that intersection, they've not been working, so I don't know whether maybe in peak hour times, early in the morning or in the afternoons, maybe they come on then. I'm not sure. Have a look at this funny bus on the side. I think somebody lives in it, but how cool is it? I often think it'd be fun to live in a bus if I could get somebody to fit it out like it was a little house. I think it'd be cool. The other funny thing that happened as I was riding along here is, and I don't know if it's in the footage, but I came across a sign on the left-hand side for Pesties photographer, and so it's a photographer that comes up here and takes photos of people riding and then advertises it on Facebook, so you can go on there and purchase it. So I saw the sign for it, but I actually didn't see the photographer. But later on, when I had a look on the website, they had some photos of me, so I purchased a couple of those photos and I posted them on YouTube in just the normal section of YouTube where you can post photos and make comments and things. So there's a post there with a couple of those photos. I have to say I look pretty rigid in them. When I look at other people's photos, they look like they're zooming past and have got a good lean on. I do not look like that. I look like an old granny riding a bike, and that's probably okay because I am an old granny riding a bike. But it was nice to have those sorts of shots. So I've, as I said, I've posted them up on YouTube. To our turn off shortly to the right to head to Brooklyn. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually drove to Brooklyn. It will have been a very long time ago, I think. So I wasn't really sure about where I was going. But here we are, left turn. Did I say right turn before? Goodness. Left turn to Brooklyn. I had a car right behind me quite close that was making me a bit nervous, but it's only 50 k's in this area, so they just had to be patient with me. Here we are coming into Brooklyn now over the bridge. Train stations on our left as we head down to the hotel, and just on our right is that reddish building is where we are having lunch. Thank you for watching.